Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Company Heroes 1 replay. Spawned up to the left side as the US force or Wehrmacht forces of Sky is the limit. Spawn on the right side as the US forces, we have Mundi with fancy lettering.
Do you need any
We also do
construction?
have two Pioneer opener. It's not coming to see extra engineers on this map. There's a lot of sectors to capture on up. For example, two Kettenkrads, but over here it looks like just two engineers as well.
Jawohl, mein Herr.
And the Wehrmacht quarter is still almost complete, and now complete. We'll see Volksgrenadier first. Not common to see MG42 as well.
Pioneer team ready.
And MG42 on this map can lock down a significant portion of the map, such as throwing inside the church, making the church giving out its holiness around it by making people extra holy. Howdy. Volksgrenadiers are being soon to be built out, or riflemen on the way. It's unlikely to be Jeep. Most time we see riflemen into a Jeep. Now do you have the engineers going straight for the VP, or are they going straight down here to lay down wire? No, they're going straight for the missions point. Going straight for missions points would be interesting because you'll get the pair. You need to capture up these two sectors here. We do have the rifleman squad out on the field. Volksgrenadier is eyeing for the center of the map, eyeing for this cutoff point now. And he is splitting up the engineers, so he's using that trick there to split the engineers to do multiple capturing. We do also got these riflemen doing the same trick as well. The rest of the squad is now trying to follow the leader. Literally, the radio man is secondly like the leader model, as the M1 carbine rather than the M1 Garand.
Yes, comrade.
Volksgrenadier trying to capture these sectors there. That's what he was asking. He's left his clan, but he says nope. May just not have the clan tag included anymore. Maybe probably because Terror is probably a clan tag. You probably don't want this to be seen in a lot of other games because of the whole like Terror name. Just the whole concept of like terrorists and all that sort. I assume it's maybe something related to that. That's just a theory though.
Jawohl, mein Herr.
Pioneers backed on off. Riflemen do capture that sector there, so we do have quite a bit of fuel control coming up with the US player. Good fuel control by the Wehrmacht player as well. Engineers have seen a bit of damage there, and we do have the riflemen now pursuing the Pioneers. MG42 now deployed out in the field. I perhaps get some suppression down. And motorcycle now deployed out as well. So far only gone for one Volksgrenadier, so going to mix up other units. And seeing some good damage on the rifleman squad. Pioneer could advance them forward over on the rifleman. And does pack up the MG42 now. Over here do have the Pioneers captured the mission sector. And Volksgrenadiers may get some good damage on the Engineers. Engineers are a little bit wounded right now. If they just head to this little bit of light cover there, and Company Heroes 1 is light cover, and Company Heroes 2 is heavy cover. And does fall back to the Engineer squad now. Unlikely being wiped, and he does decide to just back on off nice and early. Motorcycle gains some great point-blank damage there. Pioneer squad does get wiped out there. Pioneers are relatively cheap. Does force these guys into a corner. And I got the second rifle squad moving over here. Motorcycle, I see a bit of fire there. Engineers are pretty cheap, or Pioneers are pretty cheap. Does decide to start rebuilding it now. This rifle squad does express there. This one does full withdrawal. And do have a fresh Volksgrenadier squad on the field. Very nice. We probably won't see any more than two. This map is a pretty good map for MP40s as well. There's a lot of line of sight blockers there for ambushing with MP40s. We got Flamer Engineer upgraded as well. Do we see any wire over here? We do not see any wire, nor landmine. And over here, do you have the rifle squad backing up to some heavy cover there? Volksgrenadier advances to some heavy cover. At a decent range there, I believe the rifleman should be able to win out this fight. Also does pick up that model there, not really behind cover. It looks like the Volksgrenadier doing a little bit better work than the rifleman at the moment. MG42 advancing forward, you have a bit of damage there onto the Flamer Engineer. And they do have a landmine being put out by the Pioneers, very nice. MG42 and the mounted MG42 gain some good damage on the Flame Engineer. Of course, it will take a bit of time, but they are not receiving any retaliation damage. The second Volksgrenadier squad advances forward. Rifleman squad soft retreating away, receiving a lot of extra fire now. And now do have this Flame Engineer backing off a little bit. It does get inside this garrison. Nearly. Looks like still out of range of the motorcycle. Rifleman inside this garrison will not be able to handle all too much more. Flame engineers do back out the garrison, now trying to overrun the pioneers with the flamethrower. You're gonna see quite a bit of damage right there. Motorcycle still has plenty of health from with there. Does get some flame burst there on the pioneer. And does manage to fall back. And this rifleman squad does get pinned, and there's a flame engineer also pinned as well. Or suppressed. Volksgrenadiers receiving a little bit of fire there in negative ground. This Volksgrenadier does advance forward to a bit of heavy cover there. The central VP has been cleaned by the Wehrmacht player, and the VPs are very, very similar. And soon to be equal. And now they're equal. And now they're not equal. M242 setting on up right there. Volksgrenadiers receiving a bit of fire there. This one pushes safe to this heavy cover. Reference does inside the garrison there. There's a lot of windows for him to utilize. He's using all 4 windows right there. Does appear he is not using any of these windows over here. Not sure if they're fire outable. I assume these 2 are. Maybe not necessarily these 2. These guys are now rotating around, trying to get some good damage on in. Yep, now they're firing out of those windows now. And these windows cannot be fired out of. And we do have now bars now put on the field. Motorcycle advancing from the flank. Good suppression to these rifleman squad. Volkswagen is advancing forward. This just screams like going for assault grenades to me. Flame engineer's not getting hit either. They've made this line of sight blocker from the VP. Let's force back the flame engineer there. One of the rifleman squads is fully pinned. One of the Volkswagen squads fully withdrawing from the region. All 3 of them are suppressed or pinned. Now I got skirmish phase complete there. Volksgrenadiers advancing forward, trying to get some good damage. Another rifle squad does fall back. This one's a little bit damaged. We're seeing quite a bit of fire there. Volksgrenadier squad needs to fall back sooner rather than later. Hold the line. He does go for a 3rd Volksgrenadiers. And a 2nd M242. And reflip the 2nd Pioneer. This, however, one does get overran by the Flame Engineer. But gets wiped out thanks to the motorcycle. It's Volkswagen may want to fall back sooner rather than later. M242 can inside the garrison or along less heavy cover. Be a good spot for him to fight from. Volksgrenadiers need to make sure to protect the M242, prevent the rifleman just overrunning it. Motorcycle also gets some damage on in and does get suppression there on this rifleman squad. We got reinforcements pushing forward. Do you have triage center healed on or deployed on the field for healing? Motorcycle has now damaged engine there, and the rifleman squad trying to crawl away, trying to find a line of sight blocker there. Go down to 3 models. But even does recover from suppression, it's not going to be very combat capable. Flame engineer does get suppressed there. Rifleman squad does get suppressed as well. Rifleman squad has recovered from suppression there. Pioneer's trying to repair up the motorcycle. This Volkswagen squad suddenly falls back. It's very, very close to being wiped out. M42 reloading. Pioneer inside the garrison. Volkswagen may want to get inside the garrison, so it does get suppression there. A couple of models are over here. And MP40s are firing from the defense crew there. Pioneer, 1 model does go down, throws a grenade. Receives splash hammers hit there. No models draw, but without any veterancy, doesn't get any additional health regen, or any health regen. We got a Goliath deployed on the field. Volkswagen squad may need to fall back sooner or later, going for a casualty recovery bunker. Goliath, I believe, is spotted. Let's switch over to his opponent. No doctrine selected by the Wehrmacht player. No select visible doctrine over here. Oh crap, I had to hit collect cinematic mode. Now the camera's zoomed in. Oh sorry about that. I'm going to have to do a fancy camera trick now. Okay, he may have not seen that Goliath right there. Now I'm going to have to be a bit fancy with the camera angles because I hit cinematic mode by accident. Flame engineer is trying to rotate around, trying to get some good damage onto these forces. Volkswagen squad has received a bit of damage there. Rifleman squad's eyeing both the road right there. Seeing a lot of suppression, having trouble run past. At this point in time, he may want to get out airborne or rangers to fire it up if he's trying to run like this. He needs more get out a support weapon center, get out mortar. Like, he shouldn't be running the road like this. He's just getting annihilated. Trying to force his way through the M242. Volkswagen could be reinforced the front line. Got casualty recovery bunker being deployed to. M242 has been overran. Volksgrenadier does have C1, does fall back with him. 2 models remain. Gets both annihilated, also wounded. Volksgrenadier Ascendant Garrison does manage to find the H42 for himself. These couple of these squads still suppressed there. Volksgrenadier needs reinforcements. Has recovery bunker now built. Trying to pick up some nearby casualties. Got some models being picked on up, right? Very nice. Just one quick drop off there. If there's a lot of drop casualties there, he could potentially get out a free squad. The medics are not really running around all too much. They're both gunned down, so it won't run out, get any recoveries anytime soon. The Goliath could charge for this region. And to hit the cinematic mode, and I don't want to start over. 10 minutes in. Grenade Warfare now deployed out on the field. Flame Engineer is trying to burn down the bunker slowly. It's concrete, so it takes a bit of time to burn. He could try to advance forward over a little bit more over here to get this guy reinforced by that bunker. Volksgrenadier is advancing forward, trying to get some damage on these forces. Got also the Pioneers moving around, trying to capture the field point. Overall, you look at the mini-map here, we've got some great capturing pressure by the Wehrmacht player. Volksgrenadier received quite a bit of damage there. Suppress, falling back now. Volksgrenadier is severely damaged, not fully withdrawn there. Do now have a Grenade Warfare deployed on the field to engage the MG42. Supply yard now being built up by the US player, and we've got the Pioneers falling him back. Fresh medic has been put on the field. It will find a casualty there. There may be some other casualties, so there will be a bit of traverse time for them to pick up casualties. And since I hit cinematic mode, let's see if we can't find a way to force it out. Go like this. Oh, that's pretty far out. Let's go to attack minimap. I wonder. Zoom out. Attack minimap. I see a pretty large triangle here. Nope. Damn, cinematic mode.
Cowards attack our forward base.
Bunker now receiving a bit of a fire there. 2 casualties have been claimed. Bunker half health. Motorcycle has been engine been damaged once again. Grenade Warfare may get some damage now. We've got a 251 half track for forward reinforcements. More mount in play to get the pintle mount firing. And for 2 other MG4 deployed in the field. And my game minimized for some reason. Nothing's going right today, is it? Rifle squad receiving a bit of fire there from the MG42. Captured MG42 flame range here. Needs to get damage down the bunker. Down, almost down there. Grenade Warfare has fully withdrawn there. Fresh Grenadier now deployed on the field. Rifleman throw a grenade there, forcing the Volksgrenadier squad to retreat on back. And the half track is not garrisoned at the moment, so it does not have his pintle mounts firing. I think I managed to zoom out slightly with the cinematic mode camera, or I'm just coping right now. I'm still coping a little bit. Rifleman squad does get inside the garrison right there. MG42 setting on up. Trying to get some good damage there.
We are losing ground.
Volksgrenadier is, of course, next to the half track. He could garrison the half track there to get some suppression from its pintle mount. MG42 may want to retarget to another Rifleman squad. This one maybe a little bit more exposed. Maybe hit the other MG42. Volksgrenadier is trying to get reinforced. We do have another bunker in the field. Eyeing for another capture recovery bunker there. Does complete a squad of Panstrek, so he does have a Panstrek Grenadier advancing up north trying to capture this munitions sector. Does get the half-track garrison there, so now the pintle mount will start firing. I think he has sticky bombs available. MG42 suppressed, damage, trying to reinforce, falls back. Does not get wiped out there. Grenade Warfare gets a decent hit there as well. Goliath is still alive right here. He could charge forward, try to wipe out this capping squad. But he may use that as a big, powerful landmine in the current rate. Get suppression there, forcing back that Rifleman squad. Second, another Volksgrenadier squad advancing on forward. He's currently 2 Volksgrenadiers. The third one of them did, of course, get wiped out. We did see it go down right there. And the aid station has been completed. Medics not running around at the moment. Grenade Warfare, 1 model rushing on forward. Not sure where the other models are at the moment. Oh, right there.
We are losing territory.
And so that supply yard has been completed.
We now have
He must cancel the supply yard or pause it being built because we do see the supply yard going up. I could have sworn I saw that being built. Yeah, I feel like I did zoom out from the cinematic mode. I must be coping or going crazy. Pioneers do avoid that landmine there. It may not be fully built. Let's switch to the US player for the time being. Nope, it is fully built, so he just avoided it. Abstract, we've seen a bit of fire there. Rear-mounted machine gun not firing all too well. Grenade warfare raining on in. Does receive some bomb there. One more should get destruction on it. Does not get damage into crit there, so got lucky with that. Does get the rifle suppressed there. He does have plenty of munitions for additional sticky bombs. He does see the Volksgrenadier. The Volksgrenadier may just want to stay inside the half track for the time being until combat subsided. Rifle squad's getting suppressed there. Grenade thrown by the Grenadier into the house. Want to make sure the aliens inside is no longer. Does rifle the rifleman thanks to the well-placed Grenade warfare hit. Right now we do have 3 riflemen, 1 M2 being put field. Do also have off-my power shoot, so he does have infantry company now selected. And now got the Volksgrenadiers back out for this heavy cover.
We're at 200 points.
M2 houses are now completed. And the Volksgrenadier squad does back off. Nothing much. I was watching one of your AoE cast videos and saw you were alive. Never seen this game. How do you describe it compared to AoE? It is Company of Heroes. It is a squad-based shooter, not comparable to Age of Empires. Very, very little. Other than building units and moving out of the field, nothing is really similar. Rather than trying to build squads, send them off combat to die, you retreat. And you reverse these squads for a cheaper price, so it's good to not let them fully get killed off. Grenadier squad does get fully killed off there. Drop the Panzerschreck to be picked up there. Drop the bar there. He does immediately re-picked up and falls back there. Rifleman now moving around the flanks. And the Goliath has been spotted. The Goliath is a mobile little bomb. Didn't blow up in good region because his opponent blew it up prematurely. Volksgrenadier, the picked up bar, pushing way forward. Trying to get some good damage there on the rifleman. And Grenade warfare does get fully wiped out. We do now have another casualty being claimed by the bunker there. Soon he'll get a free squad of Grenadiers, 3 out of 4. And we've got this medic charging forward. He's signed on to pick up casualty there. If he gets that casualty recovered, he will get a free Grenadier. Volksgrenadiers advancing forward, trying to get some good damage there on the rifleman. Half track backing on off, trying to suppress down the rifleman. And for if you're wondering about the game as well, do note that this Company Heroes 1, the recent one, Company Heroes 3, is not well received. Company Heroes 2 is also doing quite well if you prefer to do that one. This game was released back in, 2006, 2008? Artillery barrage raining on in. And the Flaming Engineers are trying to capture this VP. Though if you were talking about Age of Empires cast, if you're talking about Age of Empires 4, this is creating the same engine, however. Just much older. Because the same developer who created this game technically also created Age of Empires 4, though I don't think the same actual developer individuals are helped created it. After all, it's a 15-year gap. Casualty recovery bunker goes down, he does not get his free Grenadier. But yeah, when comparing this game to Age of Empires, I don't think there's any comparison to them other than the basics of any RTS. Volksgrenadier does get suppressed there. M42 does get some good work there. Rifleman squad trying to overrun. He does have Panzerschreck on this squad, and having Rifleman squad with Panzerschreck is incredibly deadly. He also has 2 levels of efficiency as well. He should be able, if he gets a sticky bomb off, then he can easily finish it off with a captured Panzerschreck. Panzerschreck does roll some misses there. Did not rebuild the casualty recovery bunker. Does get it canceled.
Make it quick. So much for R&R.
Rifleman squad eyeing to decapture this point here.
Eyes on me.
And eyeing to capture multiple sectors now. Pack 38 receiving a bit of fire there. Minesweeper squad, of course, has 1 less SMG because they have to carry that Minesweeper. Level 1 production pull on the field, which reduces manpower upkeep. And he does have 2 command points now. That should be enough for Rangers, at least. Sticky Bomb has been thrown. Does get a good connect there with a half track. Gets fully immobilized, so the Pantrack or even small arms fire can pick it off. It is unarmed since nobody in garrison inside of it. Half tracks or Pack 38 slowly backing off. MG42 trying to redeploy over here. Opposed captured MG42 is set up in a good location, suppressing down the Volksgrenadier. But if he does the Grenade Warfare, which he does not, that got wiped out. He could have barrage, but of course he cannot. And that's a Panzer Command. He has locked in Blitzkrieg, employ out the Manpower Blitz, and there's an Osprey on the field. I just now realized that. Have Veteran C1 as well, as a Walking Stuka upgrade as well, the Warframen upgrade. Sorry, I hit my microphone. And here comes the Osprey, gains some great damage on the Rifleman. He does not even have a motor pool or tank depot for any sort of anti-vehicle damage, so he only has to rely on that sticky bombs and the captured Panzerschreck. Warframen looks like got a decent barrage there. Does manage to throw a sticky bomb over the hedge line. But even then, he could try pushing for that Panzerschreck, but he would get ripped apart. He's got the Volksgrenadier squad here. Yes, some of the buildings are being built by players. These ones here. The ones in the base. These structures on the map are pre-placed and garrisonable. More howitzer barrages raining on in, does roll some misses. Ooh, gets directed there on the Pack 38. Do you know, in this game, there's a lot of soft counters, there's also a lot of hard counters. AT guns, they're worthless against infantry, but they can hit vehicles, and they're cheap. They're a counter unit, to say the least. You got more journalist units. How to put it? In this game, you focus more on infantry than on vehicles. They use various infantry dynamics to fight each other, MGs to suppress rather than to kill. They do decent damage still, but they are more designed to suppress units, preventing infantry moving around. Peak of crowd control. Grenade warfares, mortars, fire from range, and put holes in the ground and hit perfect against static units such as MG42s. And then you use regular infantry, try to overrun, flank everything. So they're more generalist. They also, a lot of, depending who you play as, how you get upgrades for your units. The Wehrmacht forces can upgrade their squads individually with weapons such as MP40s or Panzerschrecks. While the Riflemen in this game are upgraded with a global upgrade to get their bars, replacing a couple of their M1 Garens with automatic M1918 bars. So if you ever played any World War II video games, imagine giving your guys the same weapons you could pick up in those games. Flamethrowers, of course, good at burning guys. And structures. I guess he wanted his sauerkraut extra crispy. We do now that Ostwind pushing forward. Ostwind is a anti-aircraft, anti-infantry asset. It can fight against very light vehicles, but against medium tanks such as Shermans and Panzer IVs, it can't fight them. But it excels versus infantry combat. Think more rock, paper, scissors than you think in Age of Empires, where you use spearmen engage cavalry, cavalry engage archers, archers engage spearmen. If that makes any sort of sense.
Location is ours.
Minesweeper squad falling in back. Oh, there's also other static things you can deploy on the field, like mines. They tend to explode when you walk over them. Riflemen do capture the fuel point there. We do have the munition sector being captured on up. We do have the Knights Cross Holders, an elite infantry unit deployed on the field. 3 members, very durable. Expensive to replace. Volksgrenadiers advancing on forward. A Rifleman squad maybe eyeing for a sticky bomb to hit that Warframen half track. It has been upgraded with our artillery piece. Times 6 rocket artillery piece. Rocket squad does get suppressed right there. Seen a bit of fire. MG42 does ban the garrison. The Ostwind has been hit by a sticky bomb to get damage and wound its engine. Flamethrower does get inside the garrison. Goes down 1 model. Very little health. Nice crossroads in the mix of everything. Using their close range weapons to force back those Rifleman squad. Ostwind does go down to, I think, an M2. Yeah, to the howitzer. And the Volksgrenadier squad is receiving a bit of fire and backing off. Yep, it's a fun game, and also easier to pick up than, say, Age of Empires, where you have to maintain building villagers, because you get resources by sending any infantry unit to capture up these sectors. It's all about field control. And so you don't have to worry about maintaining villager production, protecting your villagers. It's all about shooting, killing your opponent, keeping the area secure, but fighting well and not to lose too many resources. There are 3 main resources. Fuel, munitions, which both secure up by the land you capture, and manpower, which is a static set amount, so you just have to balance between all the 3 resources. And manpower is your primary resource. Since you get at the same rate as your opponent, with minor modifications, it tends to make it so the game's a bit more action-packed, more drawn out, and less likely to snowball. After all, there's anti-snowball mechanics such as upkeep. The more units you deploy on the field, the less manpower income you receive over time. So the better position you are, the less manpower you get. And you see artillery putting holes and killing people, which you need to use manpower to replace them. Win condition, there's 2 primary win conditions. The standard play is victory points. You see up here, the number of tickets you have on the up here. There are 3 victory points in the map. You can see, okay, these forces do get fall out. Same the M1 AT gun. There are 3 victory points on the map. Capture a majority of them, and your opponent will slowly bleed tickets. If their tickets reach 0, they lose. The other win condition is blow up all their structures at home. Nice and simple. Annihilation or V capture point. And the capture point makes it so it's more emphasis on field control as well. Sort of like if you're referring to Age of Empires 4, think of sacred sites, but more of a standard focal point throughout the entire game. You can trade VPs for time and other resources. That's something I like to say. After all, you can say if you're really falling behind, but you have a good number of VPs compared to your opponent, you can trade 200 VPs for the resources you generate naturally over that same time frame. Panther. Hybrid medium-heavy tank, specialized in killing other vehicles. In Company Heroes 1, it does reasonably well versus infantry, but not excels at it. But the Howlers are now trying to hit the Panther and the MG42. The Panthers are seeing quite a bit of hits there from the M1 AT gun. You can see here this cheap AT gun, not flashy, but effective, is doing some serious damage versus the Panther. Flame is just backing off as nice crossroads do overrun the AT gun there, and does fall back a bit nice and early. The longer you keep your units preserved, not only reduces your attrition cost of reinforcing, rather than it's cheaper to reinforce a squad than to get it replaced outright. And some factions, not necessarily Wehrmacht in this game, but the other factions in this game do obtain veterancy over time, so their units start getting better. You can see here, this rifleman squad has 2 little ticks above his head, above his banner. It means veterancy 2 out of 3, meaning it's significantly more effective than a stock unit. So keep your guys alive. After all, they can't fight if they're dead, nor can they share experiences with their newbies if they're dead as well. Knights across quarters advance forward, trying to get some damage there on the M42. The gun itself is almost destroyed. It's hard to see the actual second health bar. M42 does get fully destroyed right there. Its health was too low, and so when it got wiped out, it fully got destroyed. M2 Howitzer Barrage trying to hit this region. Panther's decently repaired. Warfman Barrage eyeing for perhaps trying to hit this AT gun. Volks Grenadiers and Knights Crossbows trying to advance on forward. Get some good hits there. Warfman Barrage ring on this region. It's large and rolling misses, however. And we do see the manpower blitz activated here. He does have access to the stormtroopers as well. Over here, the infantry doctrine player has a large reserve of manpower. He may be eyeing for off-map combat groups when he has that ability to be called in. This is Company Heroes 1. I was actually a mod maker for Company Heroes 2. And so
We have a secured sector under attack.
whenever it comes to the forums of Company Heroes 2, whenever I make a suggestion. It's like, here, I put this little implementation in my mod for you to try out firsthand of what I would say how to improve the game, or at least how I view to improve the game. My idea is a little bit more extreme. But I tried to do mod making with Age of Empires 4, but the problem is, the system's far too strict right now. You can't modify the state trees, so you can't even do basic upgrade modifiers anymore. For Years 2, I used what utilities I can, and that was also pretty limited mod making tools as well.
Victory point under siege.
It's a shame Company Years 3 was a huge disappointment for me. Nice cross orders, get some good damage there onto the engineers. This engineer squad received a bit of fire there, and does over on the AT gun.
Our forces are taking casualties.
Rifleman squad advance forward, trying to get some damage on these Volksgrenadiers, falls back. Panther advancing forward, trying to get some good damage onto these riflemen. Does get a good hit there on one of them. Rifleman squad advancing forward, trying to get the Panther Strike shot onto the Panther. Pioneers trying to repair up the Warframe half-track. Panthers getting some shots off, but not a whole lot of work done. Pioneers do have one level of accuracy here, providing some capability against this rifleman. Of course, there's just 3 squads of them. They can do some decent damage. Up here, we do have the observation post now being hit by the Volksgrenadiers. AT gun has been recruited by the riflemen, and the Volksgrenadiers are soft retreating away from the now flamethrowers. They're trying not to get their bacon cooked really badly. Volksgrenadiers do patrol time, and now we do got automatic combat group. Let's see what he rolled. Hellcat, very good. AT gun, very good. Rifleman, very good. And 30 cal actually could be decent at this moment as well, so an excellent off-map combat group. Since you probably don't know, off-map combat group, you spend 800 manpower to get a random set of units. It's cost-effective, but it's random, so it may not be units you generally necessarily need. In this case, he rolled relatively well. An AT gun and Hellcat is quite handy at this point in time, and an extra rifleman never hurt. And 30 cal is a little bit iffy, but could be reasonable. Nice to have, but nothing you really want to build on your own most of the time. Nice crossorder does fall back there. Panther received quite a bit of damage. The Hellcat is still at full health. It does actually have an M3 half-track here for forward reinforcements. Interesting. Does get a Panther shot there onto the Panther. Flame Engineers and Riflemen advancing on forward. Flame Engineers push away forward. Do have the engine for 2. Could be burned out by the flamethrower with an anti-garrison tool, but does ban the garrison in time.
100 points.
And we do have a triple capture against the US player, so he's rapidly running out of tickets. Hellcat push away forward, does decrew the AT gun. Does see the shot there, was pretty close to actually being wiped out because they're pretty stacked up when entering the building there. Frag grenade throw. They ate that frag grenade, they do fall back in time. Potentially they could be wiped out, there's a lot of fire on the retreat.
Losing ground out there.
They do fall back in time. And now here comes a Warframe barrage raining on in. Does short the garrison there. Volksgrenadiers do decapture that fuel point there. Thank you. Well, you too. Enjoy your evening, or morning, or night, whatever time of day you may be at. Pack 38 getting some shots there, a deflection on the Panther.
Forces are taking casualties.
Warframe raining on in. He's trying to deal with 30 cal there, even though he just got a free 30 cal, but 30 cal replacement does get destroyed by the Warframe half-track. I would probably... Okay, he does take out the AT gun there. Pioneers advance forward, trying to overrun the AT guns. Panther received the damage there. Nice crossword advance forward. May see a Panther cross from them. The Cal does press the Pioneer. This Pioneer is down to 1 model, so Pioneer singular does fall back there. Both Grenadiers advancing forward, trying to get some damage there onto the Rifleman. And over here, we got the Hellcat push way forward.
have a secured sector under attack.
That's crossroads right there. Munitions sector
Germans are
there.
seizing territory from us.
And the fuel point being captured up here. Nice crossholders push way forward, trying to get some good damage there onto the rifleman. And the rifleman squad and nice crossholders do both fall back there. Fuel point
enemy
being
is down
recaptured
to
there,
300
30 cal
points.
setting on up. The fuel point has been decaptured, but it's not really critical at this moment in time because they have plenty of fuel, but do perhaps need the population space. Though right now the US player is pretty low in manpower, so he can't really afford an additional population. Act 38s, or not Act 38, Warfman raining on in, gets some damage across the front line. Panther receiving quite a bit of damage there. MG42 does get suppressed there. Also got the Pantrick right here. Repair Pioneers advancing forward, trying to get some repairs on these forces. Does get a good hit there on the Panther. Panther's severely wounded right now. Does decide to recapture the MG42. This Warfman now receiving a bit of fire as well. He's infiltrating way to the M3 half-track. And looks at the MG42 he just captured, gets wiped out. And the M3 half-track is destroyed by the PAC-38. He does have that 3 light vehicles, which switch over the Wehrmacht player. He does have access to shoes, so he does not have enough command points for the Tigerpanzer. He also is pretty low on munitions. He's been spending his manpower blitz. He does have an excellent amount of munitions income, 64 per minute. He does actually been spending his fuel as well, so he does actually have to capture more fuel points. So now another Panther being put on the field. Warfman rained on in back line. And this bunker is currently not upgraded, looks like. This one has been, of course, upgraded repairs. Rifleman squad advancing forward, trying to get some damage there onto the Warfman half-track. Hellcat and AT gun advance forward. Do got these riflemen getting some damage from the Knights crossholders. There is a capture in favor of the US player at the moment, but he's still pretty low in tickets. Hellcat advancing forward, trying to get some good damage here. And the Hellcat does go down, getting tied up on the retreating models of the Knights crossholders. Pioneer squad does fall back there. Trying to get some shots there onto the M1AT gun. This is the fresh Panther here. Warfman raining on in, trying to hit this AT gun. It's everything but it. More Warfman's now raining on. Does get a good hit down the fresh M3 half-track. Warfman is trying to engage the rifleman squad. He is blitzkrieg, so he can actually play the assault grenades, which may be a good idea to deploy this time. He does have plenty of munitions when it comes to make sure he maintains the manpower blitz. So he just spent a bit of manpower there. I wonder if it's on the MP40s. Nope, it's not. M2 does get a good hit there as well. Panther charging forward to see a pair of stick bombs and a Pantrick shot. Damage print there. And fully immobilized. He's focused down these rifleman squads. Volk's going to use advance forward to get some damage down the rifleman. And rifleman squad. Or Panther severely damaged, no rifle trying to finish it off. AT gun's not a good angle there, trying to get the Panther. Trying to pick the one that not fully mobilized there. Panther does roll a bounce there. I think a kill shot there. Warfman raining on in, but raining a little bit short. Panther receives another bounce there. Really use the Veteran C2. Another bounce there. Panther rolls another bounce there. Panther staying alive, but barely. He's down to 0 health. And here comes Warfman, annihilates the M3, gets some great hits there onto the M1AT guns there, does lose the Panther, I think it was a sticky bomb. Does take out the short one of the AT guns entirely, does get a fresh Grenadier here as well, very nice. Panther, main gun destroyed, he needs to get these Pioneers engaging these Rifleman squad, they're pursuing this Panther. The half-trucks could troll some fire for him. cash recovery bunker, receiving a bit of fire from the AT guns there. Does get a bounce on the side of the Panther, get a fully mobilized Warfman and damage engine crit. I say he needs to get these pioneers just running after these riflemen. He's trying to get another sticky bomb there on the mobilized Warfman half track. Hand track rolls a miss there. He could try crushing. His engines and tracks are still good, so he could still get some crushes here, as at least dance around preventing that hand track from firing. Doesn't get any crushes there. Does roll a bounce there. And does get a sticky bomb that will likely kill out the Panther. Or not. He's getting a little bit unlucky with that. Another M3 half track pull on the field. M2 running on it. I think he's trying to get the Panther. Destroyed engine crit now. It does fully out of control now. Also now running on in, trying to. That one does have its tracks repaired. Does lose the Pioneers. Grenadiers suppressed. Now Stu's available. He should have enough command points for a Tiger Tank. I would say go with the Tiger Tank. Tiger Tank or Stu's would be great at this point in time. Right now, his opponent's not pulling out any vehicles, barring the M3s, in which the Stu and Tiger Tank are more than plenty to deal with those. Has to put holes in his opponent. Also, he could go a little bit cheaper. I'm not sure. How much of manpower is an Ostwind? I forget off the top of my head. If it's cheaper than a Stu, then maybe better go for Ostwinds. So I suppose he doesn't know how to feel for it. Either way, he does have enough manpower for our Tiger Panzer. Just need to get the ability selected and it deployed. I would say go for the Tiger Panzer. Goes for a Stu, actually. Wait, didn't he have 800 manpower? Oh, it's going for veterancy as well. That's what he's going for. Very good. We'll also see another Panther on the build queue.
We are losing ground.
Get a bit of damage down the Knights Crossholders. Got these forces captured north, and the Wehrmacht player does need that fuel. Does have a observation post on the fuel point. Nothing on that munitions point, nor that munitions point. He is maintaining good manpower income or munitions income for the manpower blitz. Lost a bit, but he does have a bit of time for VPs. Trade time for resources. Dude does find a shot there. Does get a sticky bomb thrown. He does take out the Stu immediately. Now he has efficiency 2 tanks. Pretty low on manpower, with of course the extra reduced manpower income from manpower blitz. It does hurt a little bit, but you still get a net profit. Just got to be careful about your manpower management or reinforcements, for example.
We're losing territory.
Warfman barrage somewhere over here. It does get a small hit there onto the AT gun. Flamer Pioneers see a bit of fire there. We do now have the bunker receiving a bit of damage. Volks Grenadiers gain some damage on these for Riflemen. Riflemen advancing on forward. And we got the AT gun damaged. And now both those Volks Grenadiers falling back. Destroys the AT gun entirely. What does the use player have for AT now? Nothing. He has 1 Panther and sticky bombs. That's it. He is approaching enough manpower for another off-map combat group. Very nice. But that is, of course, still a bit of a gamble. As Crossholders falling on back. Off-map combat group is now available. And let's see what he gets. He gets 2 AT guns and a rifleman. That's pretty good. The mortar could be useful. Probably not. I would just say, just put the... Let me use the minimap. Put the mortar right there and just call it good. Or maybe right here. Just throw it somewhere so get auto attacks. That's the best thing you probably can do with it. Warfman raining on in. Volksgrenadier bugging out, but looks like they do manage to skip out now. But that rifleman's going to receive a bit of fire there from that Warfman barrage. Okay, that's not a landmine, that's just a hubcap. Or a Panther tire. Something. More Warfman barrage is raining on in somewhere over here. Ah, M3 received a nice hit there. Trying to use the M3 for reinforcements. Very nice. Up here, Volt or regular grenadier does fall back.
Yes, sir. Rifles here.
Does get a good hit there on the rifleman.
Engineers in the field.
This depot is ours. Half track ready.
Severely damaged half-track still on the field. He does have engineer for repairs.
Huns are taking our territory.
Now I do have off-map power shoot raining on in somewhere. Maybe up here? That's crossroads charging forward. I think maybe it's over here.
Lost a half.
Half-track does go down there. Panther receiving a bit of damage, but does have plenty of health to work with. Does not receive a sticky bomb there. That's crossroads do full force back to units. Pioneers trying to capture the BP now. It's double capture failure, US player. Warframe and Barrage is raining on in, gains some great damage. Wipes out entire riflemen with those Warframe and Barrages. As crossovers advance forward, there of course Veteran C3 that makes them very, very good. Rifleman squad falling back. He's going to pursue that Rifleman squad back home. Does the Panther drop there and wipes out the Rifleman squad, not even close to escaping. Flame Engineer, Mortar falling on back. US player has fallen down to save up for more manpower for the off-map combat groups. He does have level 2 supply yard. Flame Engineers do fall back, or no, not Flame Engineers. Knights and Crossbows do fall back away from the Flame Engineers. This Flame Engineers will escape on out there. Mortar and AT guns could get overran here, and he needs those AT guns alive. Mortar does get decrewed as well. And right now the US player is just disintegrating. It's not maintaining enough manpower as well to get off more off-map combat groups, and he needs those AT guns. It's down to 2 riflemen, 2 engineers, a 30 cal capping up, keeping this area secure. Very nice. Good spot for that 30 cal. But right now he's down to minimum, and now even the AT guns get destroyed by these Warfremen.
Germans are seizing territory.
Rifleman squad may go down. Warfremen do take the other AT gun as well. Riflemen do drop a bar there. And the Volt Grenadiers do pick up the Panther, so now they have a captured bar and Panther. Does pick up the bar and drops the bar.
Germans are seizing territory.
Flammer Engineers gain some good damage on the Knights Crossholders. Get a 30 cal firing away, suppressing down this regular Grenadier. Central VP is now being captured by the Volt Grenadier with the bar and Panther. Flame Engineers receive push way forward, trying to get some good bursts there. And it's now trying to go for crushes there and return to the movement there. Does get captured there, resulting in the US players start counting down their tickets. Or a regular Grenadier.
Our front lines are
Looks like
collapsing.
they did throw a grenade there, but of course now it's able to suppress them continuously. Has a bit of health, not a lot of health work with anymore. May get wiped out. Warframe Barrage raining on in, gets damage on the Rifleman, and the 30 cal does go
shifting.
down.
Krauts are grabbing territory from us.
We're all reinforced.
Flame Engineers and regular Engineers advancing on forward. Pioneers do back on off. And the Grenadier squad does fall back. Got a triple capture against the US player. If he doesn't, that's probably going to be game.
Allies are down to 25 points.
He has not a lot of squads on the field. M2 has 18 kills. And looks like he does go and cast in GG.
Our supply lines are being threatened. Our base is under attack. Supply line.
And that is the end of the replay. This is Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.